Like a patchwork quilt stitched from rhinestones and grit, Dolly Parton's peroxide curls and sequin swagger once lit up every Opry stage. Now at 79, the 9-to-5 architect of twang funds literacy, wears pastel suits and steers empires. Proof her sparkle shifted from stage lights to legacy. Once the flame-haired powerhouse belting fancy under neon spotlights, Reba McEntire, now 70, leans into warm boots and TV scripts instead of stadium tours. Her signature red mane's softer now. She shapes new stars as a mentor, producer, and the ever-adaptable storyteller of country grit. Man, I feel like a woman, once roared from Shania Twain's lips as she danced in leopard print, rewriting country's pop frontier. Today at 59, her layered brunette locks and soulful gaze reveal scars survived. She champions vocal health, penning memoirs instead of chart toppers. Picture Tanya Tucker in leather fringe and rebel smirk as Delta Dawn echoed from dive bars to stadiums. Now 66, her platinum hair frames a face etched with wild roads traveled. She tours by choice, mentors Nashville's young rebels, and proves the outlaw spirit still rattles the industry's gates. Like a coal miner's lullaby, her voice once echoed through jukeboxes with "Blame It on Your Heart." Today, silver strands frame her face as she mentors rising voices, less sequins, more soul. In an era veering pop, she preserved Appalachian grit and gave roots music a defiant heartbeat. Once stomping arenas in velvet boots with her mother in tow, Winona now commands solo stages with steely grace and gospel fire. Her flame-haired defiance shaped 90s rebellion. Today, her sound carries scars and strength, healing generations through raw storytelling and bold authenticity. Back when Mama He's Crazy crowned a Judds, Naomi's harmonies stitched tradition into modern twang. Though she left the stage in 2022, her legacy lingers, sun hats, firm gaze and all. More than a matriarch, she reframed rural resilience and mental health in country's lexicon. She's in Love with the Boy made her a radio staple, all big hair and richer tones. Now in sleek layers and tailored blazers, she blends southern warmth with culinary flair. Trisha's arc, chart-topping vocalist to best-selling author, proves artistry evolves beyond the chorus. Once draped in satin and heartbreak ballads like 5 Minutes, Lori Morgan, now 66, traded her blonde bombshell image for silver highlights and acoustic sets. The architect of lush, tear-soaked hits now runs charity galas, lending her whiskey-smooth voice to causes instead of chart rivalries. Remember Outbound Plane, soaring from Susie Bogus's clear, prairie sky vocals? Now 68, she swapped country glam for earthy sweaters and intimate folk shows. Her chestnut hair now threads with gray, but she tours libraries and coffee houses, nurturing the roots of Americana she once helped grow. Before we continue these amazing celebrity transformations, here's a quick challenge for you. Can you subscribe to Then vs. Now Legends in the next 5 seconds? Smash that subscribe button and join us on this journey through time with your favorite stars. Passionate Kisses once crowned Mary Chapin Carpenter a poet of restless hearts in the 90s. At 67, she keeps her auburn hair long but softer, her songs deeper. No longer chasing radio spins, she curates intimate concerts and pens essays, proving an acoustic guitar still beats industry noise. Picture Kathy Mattea belting 18 wheels and a dozen roses in denim and defiance. At 66, her curls now salt and pepper, her voice earthier. She lectures on Appalachian roots and climate justice. Trading neon stages for community halls, she stays the quiet conscience of country's soul. Once strutting stages with fringe jackets and the honky-tonk hit, Maybe It Was Memphis, Pam now curates legacy shows in Nashville's backrooms. Her mullet gave way to soft waves, but her fire endures, bridging eras as both heir and innovator in the genre her father helped shape. Bye-bye, Blair from Car Radios as Joe D raced through the 90s with flame-red hair and fierce grit. Now, post-hiatus and faith-fueled, she performs in smaller venues, unfiltered and raw. Her comeback isn't loud, it's lived, rewriting the rules for second acts in country. Remember her cowboy hat and barroom swagger in Better Things to Do? Today, Terry broadcasts from behind a mic, country radio, not concerts. Her looks sharper, her voice deeper with time. From Canadian trailblazer to Nashville insider, she made boot-stomping power feel proudly unpolished. I Hope You Dance once wrapped America in goosebumps, her whispery twang full of promise. Now wearing monochrome chic and an air of quiet poise, LeAnn explores Americana's soulful edges. She turned from glitter to grit, proving reinvention can sound like going home. Once belting Independence Day in glitter gowns and bold brunette locks, Martina McBride, now 58, lets her hair fall in softer waves while championing women's rights off stage. She swapped arena lights for podcast mics and charity kitchens, still that powerhouse voice, just stirring change, not charts. Strawberry Wine made Deanna Carter the wistful voice of summer flings and first heartbreaks. Now 59, her sun-kissed hair flows silver at the ends. Her stage is smaller, but stories deeper. She mentors young writers in Nashville cafes, proving tender melodies can age like the finest vintage. Picture Chaley Wright in ripped jeans, singing single white female as country radio's bright rebel. At 54, her cropped hair and clear eyes reflect courage. She came out when Nashville turned its back. Now an activist and mother, she lifts queer country voices from back roads to national stages. When I Am Shelby Lynn spun raw country soul, she wore leather jackets and tousled blonde hair like armor. At 56, her layered bob frames a gentler gaze. She records stripped-back blues at home studios. Shelby still bends genres, proving vulnerability's worth more than record label polish. Once harmonizing beside Reba in Does He Love You, Linda soared with elegance and understated power. Today, she shares stages with her daughter, Hillary Scott, embracing mentorship over spotlight. Her soft curls turned silver, but her voice remains a gentle force behind country's next chapter. With Take It Like a Man, Michelle brought smoky resilience to country's global stage. Gone are the leather jackets and big perms. Today she stands with salt-streaked hair and grace, performing quietly in Canada. She didn't just break borders, she reshaped them with depth and heart. Back then, Roseanne challenged tradition with 7-Year Ache, blending poetry and protest. Now with cropped hair and literary glasses, she pens essays and ballads that haunt. Less rhinestone, more reckoning. Her evolution echoes beyond music, making her a philosopher in country's long shadow. From sun-kissed curls and powerhouse ballads like Breathe to her grounded presence in 1883, Faith traded pop gloss for cinematic grit. Her looks sleeker, her gaze wiser. Once chart royalty, now a cultural bridge, her transformation reveals country's endless canvas for reinvention. Like a wildflower hidden on country radio's edges, Kim Ritchie's Those Words We Said whispered truth beneath Nashville's gloss. Now 68, her silver streak hair and mellow smile grace indie stages worldwide. She writes for new voices and plays small clubs. Proof quiet verses still echo decades later. 10,000 Angels once carried Mindy McCready's raw twang into 90s fame, blonde hair shimmering under TV lights. Though her life ended tragically in 2013, her songs remain caution and comfort, an echo of Nashville's ruthless grind and a reminder that fragile stars sometimes burn too bright to stay. Known for fronting to pause pop fire, Carol Decker's solo foray brushed country's edge with that fierce red mane and powerhouse stage moves. Now 67, her signature flame hair softer, but her wit sharper. She tours 80s revival shows, mentors young rockers, and proves reinvention beats nostalgia's chains. Redneck Woman once exploded from Gretchen Wilson's Throw Like a Rebel anthem, black tank tops and trucker caps flipping Nashville's script. Now 52, her hair darker, her shows rarer. She raises her daughter far from industry glitz, but that outlaw snarl still sneaks onto roadhouse stages at night. When the Chicks ruled with wide-open spaces, Natalie's spiky hair and fearless vocals led the charge. Now, with a softer look but sharper words, she's a podcast guest, activist, and occasional performer. Her career defied silence, making her a symbol of conviction in country's evolution. Once hauling gear in her dad's truck, Now Lainey commands the CMA stage with bell-bottom swagger and swampy soul. Her retro curls, Louisiana grit, and Heart Like a Truck anthem made her a modern force, fusing outlaw charm with a new-school country pulse. From a glittering American Idol debut and cascading blonde waves to sold-out tours and fitness lines, Carrie's evolution is fierce and polished. Before He Cheats gave her vengeance. Now she balances arenas and motherhood, blending powerhouse vocals with unapologetic control. With Kerosene, she torched the rulebook, tousled hair, fiery eyes, and stories of defiance. Today, her platinum locks frame a calmer presence, but her pen still bites. From Nashville rebel to Nevada rancher, she reshaped country's edge with grit, grace, and grounded reinvention. Remember Kelsey Ballerini's sparkly boots stomping through Love Me Like You Mean It? Now 31, her blonde waves sleeker, her style sharper, she navigates pop country's glitter and grit on her terms. Between arena tours, she pens poetry books and uplifts young songwriters. Proof stardom can evolve mindfully. Once belting my church with wild curls and leather jackets, Maren Morris, now 35, tempers country's traditions with sharp pop hooks and outspoken grit. Her style's bolder, her voice louder for women and marginalized artists. Between Grammy stages and protests, she reshapes Nashville's borders daily. Like a river's hush, Alison Krauss's crystal-clear vocals carried, When You Say Nothing at All, into countless hearts. Now 53, her golden hair softer, her fiddle ever faithful, she picks rare stage moments over fame's rush. Mentoring bluegrass airs, she remains the quiet architect of country's soul. Once dazzling primetime TV with I Was Country When Country Wasn't Cool, Barbara Mandrell, now 76, traded stage sequins for family and faith. Her golden curls now silver, her back straighter with resolve, she advocates for music education, proving true legends craft futures off stage too. Her floor-length hair and satin-soft vocals made Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue iconic. Today, with cropped locks and timeless elegance, she performs selectively, her legacy sealed in velvet tones. Once a crossover pioneer, now a guiding star for genre-defying dreamers. Sequins flashing and strawberry curls bouncing, Dottie lit up the Opry with A Lesson in Leaving. Though her life ended tragically in 1991, she shattered age and fashion norms, carving space for glamour and grit in country, a legacy now echoed by every bold balladeer. Once ethereal in lace and harmonies that haunted, Emmylou redefined roots with Red Dirt Girl. Now silver-haired and serene, she supports humanitarian causes and folk preservation. Her voice, though softer, still echoes truth, proof that artistry only deepens with time. In the 80s and early 90s, her feathered hair and rich harmonies filled radios with It Ain't Easy Bein' Easy. Now sporting sleek white blonde hair and quieter stages, Janie focuses on gospel and legacy shows, her range still powerful, her journey deeply rooted in resilience. Queen of Hearts crowned Juice Newton in the 80s crossover lane, her feathered hair and rock country edge lighting up jukeboxes into the 90s. Now 73, she performs select shows, silver hair framing a softer stage presence. Beyond hits, she mentors young artists, proving a country rebel's fire can age gracefully. 80s ladies gave KT Oslin a late-blooming crown, her smoky alto and candid lyrics redefining mature womanhood in country. Though she passed in 2020, her legacy hums on, her bob hair and sly smile reminders that Nashville once made space for grown truths, sung by someone who never played by its rules. Katie Lang's torchy twang on Constant Craving blurred genre lines, her cropped hair and androgynous suits challenging country's norms. Now 63, her short silver hair frames a serene grin as she records jazz, mentors queer artists, and keeps genre borders wide open, her voice still drifting untamed as ever. Barely 13 when Blue Revive yodels for a new era, LeAnn Rimes flaunted blonde curls and powerhouse pipes. Now 42, she wears sun-kissed waves and wellness on her sleeve, recording raw acoustic albums and championing mental health. Her career proves that early fame can be reshaped into healing art. From coal miner's daughter to country trailblazer, Loretta sang truth in Rhinestones and Rollers. Until her passing in 2022, she remained fierce, silver curls, sharp pen, and no-nonsense grace. She didn't just sing country, she redefined womanhood within it, verse by unapologetic verse. I Never Promised You a Rose Garden crowned her with chart-topping fame and feathered hair. When she passed in 2015, she long since traded glam stages for equestrian quiet. Yet her voice endures, a bridge between counterpolitan polish and raw emotional honesty. With windblown hair and the aching beauty of Born to Fly, Sarah owned the airwaves. Today, in elegant waves and boots made for business, she juggles music, memoirs, and motherhood. Her voice, rich with years, proves that country's heart still beats in lived experience. Back when nobody soared, Sylvia's bobbed hair and clear vocals made her crossover darling. Now with a sleek silver style and a storytelling soul, she crafts concept albums and uplifts indie talent. She stepped away from charts, but toward lasting creative control. Stand By Your Man made Tammy Wynette the face of heartache and defiance, her bouffant hair and satin gowns defining an era. Though she passed in 1998, her legacy echoes in every country ballad about survival and sacrifice. Even now, her voice reminds Nashville how raw honesty outlives fleeting fame. You Really Had Me Going once put Holly Dunn's sweet twang on every jukebox, her brunette bob and earnest eyes a fresh face for 90s country. Though she passed in 2016, her songs and advocacy for artists' rights linger. Holly's gentle ballads and bold stands prove quiet voices can outlast radio spins. Remember Jan Brown's honky-tonk twang on You Ain't Down Home, boots kicking up barroom sawdust? Now 70, her hair silvered but her smile unchanged, she plays small-town fairs and mentors West Coast country hopefuls. She never chased Nashville's flash, choosing Roadhouse grit over fleeting headlines. Jones on a Jukebox made Becky Hobbs the whiskey voice storyteller of dance halls and heartbreak. Now 75, her fiery red hair gone silver, she writes musicals about Cherokee heritage and still jams in Oklahoma honky-tonks. Becky's legacy proves country's wild spirit can bloom far from music rose glare. With punky curls and the rebel anthem, I Fell in Love, Carlene danced between outlaw roots and pop polish. Now, with weathered grace and acoustic sets, she honors her Carter family lineage. Once Nashville's wild child, she's become its legacy keeper with grit and humor. Who's Cheatin' Who made Charlie a 90s chart fixture, her glossy bob and smoky delivery unmistakable. Today, she lives largely off stage, far from rhinestones and interviews. Though her mic is silent, her influence lingers, a master of subtle fire in a bold era. A voice once called the greatest by Dolly herself, Connie soared in the 60s but kept shining into the 90s revival. Now 83, with soft curls and quiet dignity, she still graces the Opry, proving that devotion, not decades, defines a true country artist. A rising voice of the late 80s and 90s, Dana's I Know a Good Thing showed promise with powerhouse grit. After stepping back post-tragedy, she pivoted to studio work. Now her voice uplifts others, an unsung architect behind country's emotional spine. Baby I Lied turned Deborah Allen's smoky vocals and teased blonde hair into a country pop staple of the 80s and early 90s. Now 71, her golden mane's softer. She writes behind the scenes and performs at songwriter rounds. Her path shows that quiet pen strokes often echo longer than glittering spotlights. The happiest girl in the whole use once sparkled from Donna Fargo's sunny voice and bright blonde hair. Now 79, her style gentler, her smile undimmed, she writes inspirational books and paints vivid landscapes. She chose brushstrokes and poetry over charts, proving joy can shift but never fade. Country's first female producer, Gail Davies shaped hits like Grandma's Song with fierce independence and honeyed vocals. At 77, her short gray hair and clear eyes still light up Nashville's studio circles. She mentors young women behind the board, proving true trailblazers never leave the booth. Satin sheets crowned Jean Pruitt the honest voice of housewife dreams in rhinestone Nashville. Now 88, her silver curls frame a face full of gentle stories. Long retired from the spotlight, she gardens, writes letters to fans, and reminds country music that dignity offstage is its own final encore. Once draped in leather beside Waylon Jesse's haunting "I'm Not Lisa" made country mournful and mysterious. Now 82, with silver streaks and spiritual songs, she performs rarely but radiates wisdom. From outlaw muse to solo mystic, her path reshaped the genre's emotional edge. Though her voice graced 90s ballads, it's Karen's pen, behind hits like Keeper of the Stars, that left a deeper imprint. Today, in a softer style and writer's quiet, she mentors young artists. Less spotlight, more substance. Her story is one of creation over acclaim. With Daddy's Little Girl, Kippy brought emotional depth to 90s country radio, her soft curls and tender tone unforgettable. After stepping back for family, she remains largely out of view, but her brief brilliance still tugs at nostalgic hearts across generations. Laurie's "That's My Baby" brought soul and swagger to country's glossy era. Before her passing in 2018, she became a producer, Broadway star, and genre trailblazer. Her short life burned bright, proving that talent, when unfettered, can defy every boundary set by industry. In the 90s, Lisa Brokop's clear alto and heartfelt ballads like "Give Me a Ring Sometime" echoed from Canada to Nashville, brunette hair flowing under stage lights. Now 52, her style softer, she runs songwriting workshops and tours intimate venues. Her path proves staying true can outlast fleeting fame. "Don't Break the Heart That Loves You" once carried Margot Smith's sweet soprano and big blonde curls onto country's airwaves. Before passing in 2024, she traded glitter gowns for gospel records and gentle ministry. Her legacy remains a reminder that faith and melody can outlive the industry's trends. Penning hits like "Strawberry Wine," Matraka Berg's poetic twang shaped other stars while her own soft vocals hid in plain sight. Now 61, with loose waves and a timeless fringe, she writes for Nashville's Next Rebels and plays quiet shows, proving sometimes the best stories come from just outside the spotlight. Dark Horse once gave Mila Mason's smoky voice and bold style a ride through 90s country charts. Now 62, her red hair richer and her stage smaller, she coaches aspiring singers in Nashville and plays songwriter circles. Mila's path shows that nurturing new voices can echo longer than any single hit. With Lotta Love, Nicolette glided between soft rock and country, her curls and California warmth lighting up stages. Before her untimely passing in 1997, she embraced Nashville fully. Though gone young, her genre-crossing spirit lives on in every boundary-breaking country ballad. Once blazing through bluegrass charts with fierce mandolin skills and sky-high vocals, Rhonda still tours in rhinestones, just with a little more polish. Hair brighter, harmonies deeper, she's bridged old-time tradition with modern fire, becoming a quiet titan of roots revival. Her cover of Black Velvet brought sultry edge to country's polished 90s. With teased hair and leather jackets, Robin turned heads, then stepped away from center stage. Now behind the scenes, she's helped shape others' hits, proving influence isn't always front-facing. "Help Me Make It Through the Night" gave Sammy a husky-voiced anthem of quiet defiance. Before her passing in 2005, she wore solitude like a badge, far from glitter and gloss. Her legacy lies in that raw honesty, a blueprint for every country outsider. As one half of Jose Cuervo, Shelley West's playful twang and feathered hair ruled honky-tonk nights through the 80s and into the 90s. Now 67, her hair silver blonde and her spirit gentler, she performs at classic country shows and supports addiction recovery groups, proving her hits still toast second chances. Car Wheels on a Gravel Road carved Lucinda Williams into alt country's rebel map, her raspy drawl and tousled hair defying Nashville polish. Now 72, silver strands frame a weathered grin as she tours indie stages, writes raw memoirs, and proves you can break every rule and still be country to the bone. Patty Griffin's haunting "Let Him Fly" made her folk country's secret heartbeat, red curls bouncing as she sang truths others feared. Now 61, her hair softer and songs deeper, she avoids fame's glare, recording stripped albums at home and mentoring songwriters who crave honesty more than chart slots. Rosie Flores rocked honky tonks with "Crying Over You," her punk country swagger and jet black hair igniting alt country stages. Now 74, streaks of silver run through her trademark pompadour as she produces rockabilly records and champions Latina artists. Proof her twang still kicks doors wide open. With a quavering twang and fearless lyrics, Iris shook the 90s with "Let the Mystery Be." Today, with graying braids and a poet's gaze, she performs selectively, her art more introspective than ever. She never chased fame. She cultivated truth in a genre often allergic to it. Her voice lit up the 90s with "Who's That Girl?", all smoky power and chart-bound promise. Then she stepped into songwriting, penning mega hits from the shadows. Today, with soft waves and a calm presence, she proves real success sometimes sings from behind the curtain. Blazing onto the scene with "Somebody's Knockin'," Terry's soulful voice and sunglasses made her unforgettable. Blind since birth, she defied limits with gospel grit and country charm. Now semi-retired, she remains a symbol of resilience where radio once saw only convention. Then versus Now Legends is feeling a bit lonely. 99% of you haven't subscribed yet. Show us some love and hit that subscribe button so we can keep bringing you the jaw-dropping journeys of your favorite stars. And if you're as fascinated by then and now glow-ups as we are, check out our previous videos. Trust us, they're totally worth your time and ours too.